Hey, this is blog post, I have lost count, but the main purpose of this blog post is to talk about my concepts. So we'll give a straight run through all the way from the beginning. This is obviously what we started with, so this was an existing security state. And over the course of this project, I've sort of grown to like many of the features of it. It's very simple, it's easy to use, and it's fairly easy to install as well. It's just the measurements and the location of it which is kind of off-putting and can throw you off. But what I did like about it is its real slim, low-profile look, and that's sort of what I tried to replicate with mine from the very start, and that was sort of emphasised in my opportunity statement. So from here, where did we progress? I sort of came up with a sliding bar kind of design, again trying to stick with that small profile theme where you would have something like this stuck straight to the side of your window and a simple groove system that you could slot in, chink, and open your window out like this. But again, obviously this bar bit here wouldn't be as long, so the whole profile of the whole project would be something about that thick. The only major issues there was that A, it didn't look very modern, and B, it would only fit a certain array of windows. And the modern windows are quite tricky, especially the aluminium ones, because they do sort of pivot out, they offset from the frame because of the hinges that they're currently on, or the majority of them do anyways. So I sort of gave that a bit of a miss, and started to aim towards this type of design here, which again looks very similar to the security stay, but has a few major differences. The security stay works by having three safety catches, I guess, and these are the three ranges that you have on the distance. And they're really fiddly, and they're not very intuitive, and to open and shut the window you have to touch it all the time, you have to flick it, you have to maneuver it, and then you start shutting it again and it'll fall into another catch and you have to readjust this, you have to unlock it, but you don't really know how to unlock it. And with installation you've got two hooks so that it could go on either side, but it's quite confusing because you don't know which hook to use sometimes, because this moves so much it's pretty much symmetrical, so you don't know really what to do. So what I wanted to do was sort of simplify it way back and come up with a simpler sliding mechanism, but that could be adjusted to many different lengths. And that's sort of where this design here came into play. Now if I can get this cog out, this should be good. Oh, okay, actually I have a spare cog anyways. So this mechanism here basically has lots and lots of different notches, so just like a cog, which spins around a pivot and goes on the inside. And from my research, if this slides out, and this has two, so it has a pivot and a lock, then this stays secure, and if this is secure, then this won't move. And that's what I've based my design on, this being fixed and this end being fixed. Therefore this here wouldn't be able to move because this here is attached to a window. So fixed on installation, and your only free pivot is this one here controlled by a switch. I guess that's sort of an observation which I've just come across actually. You need, even with this, it's got a fixed, and a pivot. So yeah, it's quite interesting. Fuck. So moving on from here, originally I had sort of just a thin pin that would slot in, but it's not overly intuitive, and it's not very easy to use. One of the personas I've created was Stumpy, or what was given to us, and Stumpy is a guy with no arms, and could he use this? No hands, so could he use it? And he definitely wouldn't be able to use something like that. So this sort of large handle came into play. You could pick it up, pop it in its hole, and it would be spring loaded. So we got into a rapid prototyping here. And again it worked, but it's not what I was looking for. I want to keep this slim, slender profile like this, but with all the benefits of having a massive handle like this. And it's combining the best of both worlds, which I kind of found difficulty in. Up until a point anyways. I think I've now come up with a design, with the help of Ollie actually, which does accommodate for both function and aesthetic, which was really important to me, especially the aesthetic, because when talking to Clark, I discussed the fact that I see Windows only being used maybe 10% of the time, maybe 20%, depending on where the window is. For the other 80%, they're just there, and they're sort of a side feature to the main feature, which is the window. The window's, you know, what you install. The window's the reason for this window stay. I mean, you wouldn't just have a window stay, you'd have just a window. And what's outside the window and the view that it gives, that's what's important to the user, not this big, offensive, visually offensive window stay. So keeping it slender, I finally came up with a final concept here, which involves a smaller catch, like so, which can just slide forwards and back, locking it into place. And when this goes on top of its base, something that size, this is full scale, on comparison to a whole window, is quite minimal. Especially since you don't have to touch it, you only have to touch it when you want to lock it, so just a little slide, that's it. So using your main handle is your predominant use, and then it comes off. This can also unhinge, so there's the ability to unclip it here. Comes up, probably doesn't make that sound. So the parts to this, I might as well chuck it out now, instead of doing another blog post. Include the following. Need one of those, and that's about it. Yeah, I think that's it. Well, this is sort of part. Okay, so you have your main case, and this here is a universal case, so it can be screwed straight down, or it can be screwed straight in. So this is for aluminium, and that is for wood windows, and it can work on both sides. So say we're working on wood for now, and this gets screwed straight down. This very attractive die cast case will then clip straight over the top, and that's a sort of a one-time fit. So I don't want to. I could probably put it on. Right, there we go. So that's clipped on. So all you'll see, that's what you'll see. A nice sync case. Then on top of this will go your main body, and your main body will have this runner on it. It's got a screw hole there, but I'm not gonna screw it in now. So that piece here will go on the top. And beforehand, during assembly, this will already have been assembled at the shop. I'll show you it first. Simple cog on the end of a plate with a chamfer, so it looks nice. Which will have been popped in like so at the assembly bay and fixed like so. Come on. Yep, that's it. So that's the pivot. So that goes on. And then finally you have this here with a small lever, which should have been attached. We had a slight cock up with rapid prototyping. And that's all. So as installation goes, this is already installed. Once you've got this in line, so right in the corner, the instructions are in the box. 2 screws straight in there, and that's it. That's all your installation. And as the window opens, that slides up, and there we go. And then you can locked in place. It's done. Unlock it using your handle. This has nowhere else to go but like this. So that'll rotate back round. The reason for having both sides open is so that it's universal. It can work on both sides. So this here could be taken over there, and same with this device here. So I guess that's pretty much it. I've gone through, as you can see, quite a lot of different prototypes. There's a few more back at the workshop which I've sort of left. The iteration process, a lot of the changes were quite subtle because I kind of knew what I sort of wanted to do from the start in terms of keeping this slender and low profile, but really crucial, tiny little changes which just make the product 10 times better. So I'm quite happy where it's gone. I think it's good. And there's space for 3 different size iterations which are required in the brief, which is good. So I can meet that. Can go on side windows. Same principle. Just lined up on the side like this. And down it goes. Well, that would actually slide up. Cool. Vlog done.